Hello everyone, welcome to Jagran Public School Noida. I am Tripti Mehrotra, your science teacher. In this session, we will discuss about metals and non-metals. And in this metals and non-metals chapter, we will discuss chemical properties of metals and non-metals. The physical properties of metals and non-metals you all did in part 1. So this is part 2 of metals and non-metals. So let's start with the chemical properties of metal. Many metal produce metal oxide by burning in the oxygen of the air. Highly reactive metals reacts violently when they are burned in oxygen. So this is the first property of metal, that metals produce metal oxides when react with oxygen. The difference between the chemical and physical properties are that once the products are formed in the chemical properties, it can't be reversed. And the physical property means the things which are getting changed can be reversed after the physical change. For example, melting of wax is a physical change, but the burning of paper is a chemical change. Second chemical property of metal is metals like sodium and potassium are stored in oil as they react with air in a second. So they are highly reactive metal. This implies that not all the metals react with oxygen and form metal oxides. So there is an exception that some metals like sodium and potassium are stored in the oil as they react with air in few seconds, as they are very highly reactive metal. Less reactive metals like gold, silver, platinum that are used in the ornaments do not tarnish easily and they stay shiny and lustrous. Means they will not react with oxygen present in the air in any case. Metal produces metal oxides and hydrogen gas while reacting with water. So when metals react with water, metals produce metal oxide as well as hydrogen gas. This is the next chemical property. Soluble metal oxide dissolve in water and create metal hydroxides. This metal oxide, which is produced when metals react with oxygen, when dissolve in water, create metal hydroxides. This is a new compound. Not all the metals react with water. However, highly reactive metals are sodium and potassium react with water violently, and an exothermic reaction. Means sodium and potassium, that's why are stored in oil, because when they react with water, they produce a large amount of heat. So it is called exothermic. Exothermic reaction means the reaction which produces a high amount of heat, whereas the hydrogen immediately catches fire. So when sodium and potassium react with water, it catches fire because hydrogen which is released with water suddenly catches fire. Salt and hydrogen are produced when metals react with acids. Metals can react with acids. Generally, a metal displaces less reactive metal in a metal salt solution. So these are some, that is first is metal form metal oxides. These metal oxides when dissolved in water form metal hydroxides. Some metals like sodium and potassium react with water violently, and an exothermic reaction means produce large amount of heat and even catches fire. Some metals, salt and hydrogen, are produced when react with acid. So metals when react with acids produce salt and hydrogen. And the last one is generally metal displays a less reactive metal in a metal salt solution. Means there is a displacement reaction. So for all these things, all these properties, we will learn about the equations. Like first, this is called the reaction of metal with oxygen, that is called oxidation. The first is metal accepts gold and silver react with oxygen to form basic oxides. In the previous slide, we learned that metal oxides, that is called basic oxides. Sodium also react vigorously with oxygen. A lot of heat is generated. Lot of heat is generated means it is exothermic in nature. Lot of heat is generated. That shows that the reaction is very much exothermic in nature. And the metal oxide which is produced are called basic oxides. For example, magnesium is a metal. This is a metal. When react with oxygen, it form a magnesium oxides. So it is called magnesium oxide. This is called basic oxide. Similarly, rusting of iron. In presence of moisture and air, rust gets deposited over iron. So when iron react with oxygen and water, produce iron oxide. So these are all basic oxides. Magnesium oxides, iron oxides are all our basic oxides. So when magnesium react with oxygen, they form magnesium oxide. When iron react with oxygen and water, they form iron oxides. And the formula of iron oxide is Fe2O3. Similarly, formula of magnesium oxide is MgO. So these are the formula which we need to learn like this only. Next is greenish deposit on the surface of copper vessel. What will happen when copper react with oxygen? So you have seen copper vessels or copper decorative items after so many years, when comes in contact with the air and water, a greenish material deposited on its surface. That greenish material is a mixture of copper hydroxides. So that also we learn in the first slide, that metal form metal oxide. When that metal oxides dissolve in water, they form metal hydroxides. So copper is a metal. Copper is a metal, right? This copper is a metal. When this copper react with water, everything, carbon dioxide and oxygen, it form copper hydroxide. This is the formula of copper hydroxide. And copper carbonate, CuCO3. All the metallic oxides are basic in nature. They are not acidic, they are all basic in nature. So the next is, what will happen when the metals react with water? Metals also react with water. Some metals like sodium and potassium that we learn are highly reactive with water and produce a large amount of heat, that is called exothermic. So sodium, when react with water, forms sodium hydroxide. This is called NaOH, and hydrogen is released. Potassium and calcium are also active metals and react with water at room temperature. Such metals are stored in kerosene. That's why, because sodium, potassium, and mostly calciums are highly reactive. This potassium, this sodium, they are very active metals. So to reduce its activity, so that they will not come in contact with the water, we need to store in the kerosene. Some other metals do not do so. For example, iron react with water slowly, and what will happen when iron react with water? There is a corrosion. Corrosion will happen. So next is reaction with acid. What will happen when metals react with acid? Acid react with metals to liberate hydrogen and corresponding salt is formed. Metal always forms salt when react with acid. This is called, that is not salt, that is not edible salt. Salt means combination of two elements. Zinc is a metal. When combined with hydrochloric acid, HCl, forms zinc chloride, ZnCl2, plus hydrogen gas is released. Similarly, zinc is a metal. When react with hydrogen sulfate, again hydrogen sulfate is a acid. This is also an acid, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid. So when metal is called zinc, zinc react with sulfuric acid, zinc sulfate is a salt. Similarly, zinc chloride is a salt, is formed and hydrogen gas is released. Hydrogen burn up with a pop sound when a burning matchstick is brought near it. So when we bring a burning matchstick near the test tube where this reaction is going on, there is a popping sound. Popping sound is due to presence of hydrogen gas. So this is the reaction of metal with acid. So when metals react with acid, some salts are formed. That salts are maybe called magnesium chloride. This is an example of zinc. We can take magnesium chloride, sodium chloride, magnesium sulfate, different kinds of salts we can form. Next is reaction with base. When metals react with base. Base, anything which is hydroxide is called base. When the term hydroxides is attached with any metals or any element, that become a base. So when metal like zinc react with sodium hydroxide, it produce a new compound, that is Na2ZnO2. Next is displacement reaction. Certain metals are capable of displacing other metals from their solution. Means some metals are highly reactive and some metals are less reactive. So when highly reactive metals displace the less reactive metal, that is called displacement reaction. In this reaction, copper sulfate plus zinc, a new compound is formed, zinc sulfate. This is copper sulfate, this is zinc, a new compound is zinc sulfate. In this reaction, zinc is highly reactive than copper. This is the zinc. This zinc is highly reactive. This is a zinc. The zinc is highly reactive than copper. So this zinc displaces this copper and forms zinc sulfate, and copper is deposited at the powder form in the bottom. So when this reaction take place, copper sulfate solution plus zinc metal be added, then zinc sulfate solution is formed and the copper in the form of fine powdery red mass is deposited at the bottom of that beaker. So this is the reaction of displacement of one metal displaces the other. This is the reactivity series where the displacement reaction take place. According to this reactivity series, potassium is considered to be a most reactive metal and gold is considered to be a less reactive metal. So according to the reactivity decreases when we goes from top to the bottom. That's why zinc is more reactive than calcium. When the zinc is more reactive than calcium, so the zinc displaces calcium from the previous reaction, that is calcium sulfate. So in general, more active metal displaces less active metal from their solution. In the previous reaction, what we learned, copper sulfate plus zinc, Zinc is more reactive, copper is less reactive according to the reactivity series. So the zinc displaces copper from the copper sulfate solution. In this case, zinc is more reactive than copper, so it replaces copper from the copper sulfate solution. The rule is that more reactive metal can replace a less reactive metal, but a less reactive one cannot replace more reactive metal. Thus, metals are arranged in order of their decreasing activity. This arrangement is called the activity series or reactivity series. That is, potassium is highly reactive and the gold is less reactive. Now comes to the chemical properties of the non-metals. We learn many things of the non-metals. Non-metals can be solid, non-metals can be gaseous, non-metals can be liquid form, like bromine is a liquid, gases is all oxygen, nitrogen, whatever present in the atmosphere, and solid is carbon. Carbon is a non-metal. So non-metals react more with metals than with non-metals. Usually non-metals react with other non-metals in high temperature. Most non-metals do not react with air in room temperature. White phosphorus is the only non-metal that react with air to form its oxides by burning. So only in the non-metals, white phosphorus is a highly reactive non-metal that can react with air, but the other non-metals do not react with air. Usually non-metals do not react with water also, except chlorine, because chlorine dissolve in water to form acidic solution. Chlorine can be dissolved in water or react with water. Non-metals have a low density. That's why they occur in the powdered form or in the gaseous form. They do not form alloys. However, non-metals like carbon, silicons, and phosphorus. Basically, non-metals do not form alloys. Non-metal exists in all state of matter at room temperature. Non-metals can exist in solid, non-metals can exist in the liquid or in the gaseous form. Different non-metals have different reaction. Like chlorine is the most reactive metal in the halogen family. Chlorine, bromine, iodine, fluorine, this is a one family. These all elements belong to one family. So in all these family, chlorine is considered to be a most reactive metal. The reactivity order of the halogen family is like that. Chlorine is a more reactive than bromine. Bromine is a more reactive than iodine. Therefore, chlorine can displace bromine and iodine from the solution of bromides like NaBr and iodides like sodium iodide. So these are the summary of all the chemical reactions. Now what will happen when the non-metals react with oxygen? That is called oxidation. Non-metals react with oxygen to form oxide, which is acidic in nature. In metals, we learn that when metals react with oxygen, they form basic oxides. But when the non-metals react with oxygen, they form acidic oxides. So basically, non-metals are acidic in nature. For example, when sulfur react with oxygen, they form sulfur dioxide. When this sulfur dioxide dissolve in water, they form sulfurous acid. So this sulfurous acid is acidic in nature. Sulfurous acid formula is H2SO3. So these are the difference between metal oxides and non-metal oxides. The sulfurous acid turn blue litmus paper red. It is acidic in nature. How we will test what is acidic and basic? There is a litmus paper, a small paper type structure is there. When that blue litmus paper turn red, that shows that it is acidic in nature. What will happen when non-metals react with air? Reaction of non-metals with water and air. Generally, non-metals do not react with water, though they may be very reactive in air. Some nonmetals such as phosphorus react with air vigorously. It catches fire if exposed to air. So phosphorus is stored in water. That is the exceptions condition, that most of the nonmetals do not react with water and air, but exception is there that phosphorus can react with air very vigorously and it catches fire when it exposed to air. So phosphorus is stored in water. So this is all of your chemical and properties of metals and non-metals. Physical properties already we did. So thank you for all. Just go through this PDF and try to understand what are the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Thank you all.